They drained the $120,000 I'd saved since I was 18 to pay off my brother's debt, fund his honeymoon, and buy him a luxury car. When I called, Dad said, "Thanks for your naivety. Family first. Now pay your share." I laughed, because the money they took wasn't mine anymore. So, the other day, I'm talking to my dad on the phone when he drops this bombshell. "Thanks for your naivety," he says. "Your family will now pay your share." I just stared at the phone, totally floored, like it had just started speaking a foreign language. "Excuse me?" I replied, not because I hadn't heard him, but because I wanted him to repeat it, slowly, with the weight it deserved. But no, he just laughed and said, "Come on, you've always been the responsible one. What's a little help for your brother? You're not selfish, are you?" That's when I laughed, a bitter, sharp laugh, the kind that sounded like it was echoing off broken glass. You see, the $120,000 they took wasn't what they thought it was. But let me rewind a bit. The last time I saw my parents was during a family dinner back in late March. I showed up with some wine, a pie I'd baked the night before, and a hopeful attitude. My brother was there too, had this fresh tan from his honeymoon, and was sporting a Rolex I'd never seen before in his selfies. I remember my dad raising his glass at dinner and toasting to David, wishing his student loans would never be a problem and that his new car would be better than his last. Then he turned to me and said, "And thanks, Nathan, for being the good son who never makes us worry." My mom giggled, my brother smirked, and at that moment, I didn't get it. Not until the next morning, when I checked my bank account and found out my life savings were wiped out. All of it, every single cent I'd saved since I was 18, gone. Birthday checks I stashed away, freelance payments I saved for my someday fund, all $120,000, just drained away like I was the one who'd taken a bath in it. At first, I thought it was fraud, a hack. I called the bank in a panic, feeling ashamed. But nope, it was legit. Apparently, months ago, my name had been added to a family trust account, something I must have signed off on around Christmas. They said it was a tax form for a family investment plan, no big deal, routine stuff. I signed it thinking it was just family business. Turns out, the money had already been spent. $58,000 paid off David's MBA loans, $12,000 booked his honeymoon in the Maldives, $38,500 went to a new Tesla, and the rest covered random family expenses. I called them, shaking with rage but still polite, because, for some reason, that's just how I was raised. My mom didn't pick up, my brother sent me a heart emoji and a thumbs up, but my dad, he answered. And he thanked me for my naivety. That's when something inside me didn't just snap, it cracked, slow and deep, like ice breaking on a frozen lake. And I couldn't stop laughing because they didn't really take what they thought. And that wasn't me, not anymore. See, at 19, I gave my brother my laptop because he was broke and needed it for school. At 21, I covered my parents' mortgage for a few months because the market was rough, and my dad promised I'd get it back. At 24, I co-signed a loan for David, his credit was just a technicality, he said. By 27, I'd given them so much money, I had to keep a spreadsheet just to stay sane. And not once did they say, "Thank you." To them, it wasn't generosity, it was my duty. I was the reliable one, the fixer, the background character who swoops in with a check and a tired smile. They weren't villains, not at first glance. My dad was charming, everyone said so, with a knack for storytelling and making you feel like the center of the universe until you crossed him. Then, he'd tear you down with a grin. My mom was sweet and quiet, always caught in the middle, but she never stopped him. David, my golden boy bro, weaponized guilt like a pro. I tried, you know? It's hard being the one everyone depends on. David would say I wouldn't get it, that I wasn't the one feeling the pressure. I paid for his LSAT prep, he dropped out. I funded his second shot at business school, and he goes to the classes to go to Ibiza. But I kept helping, thinking one day they'd see me as more than just a wallet, not just some backup plan, but as a person. That hope died the day I saw David's Instagram post, standing by his new Tesla, one arm around his fiancée, captioned "Work hard, play harder. New chapter begins, #grind pays. #blessed, #no handouts." And there I was, on my apartment floor, in the same sweats I'd worn for 3 days, staring at the screen like it was speaking another language. So, picture this, I'm scrolling through social media and come across this post about someone I know being hailed as this self-made success. I didn't react or comment, I just closed the app and went back to my stuff. You see, I had all the receipts, literally. Screenshots of transactions, pleading messages, lies, emergency emails, PayPal locks, wire confirmations, and even the signature from a trust account they tricked me into signing. Yeah, I keep all that in the cloud because I'm a bit paranoid. But then, it got even crazier. My cousin Laura hit me up, all excited, asking if it was true that I invested in David's startup. She said my mom mentioned I was the one who believed in him when no one else did. I'm just staring at my screen like, startup? What startup? So, I asked for proof. Laura sent me a screenshot from a group chat where my mom was gushing about how grateful they were to me for believing in David's app idea. That's when I realized, this wasn't just about money. They were using my name to make David look like some kind of genius. I was turned into the silent investor, the invisible helper. I texted my mom, asking if there was really an app. She came back with, "You're overthinking again. Why do you always do this?" That was her move, turning my questions into my own flaws. I ignored it and started digging deeper. I contacted the bank and checked my credit history, just out of suspicion. And boom, the floor dropped from under me. They'd opened a second credit line in my name, hooked up to my childhood address. In the past 90 days, there were charges adding up to $17,200 for flights, jewelry, spa packages, and a $6,500 furniture purchase. All labeled as family credit. I called my dad, dropped the politeness this time. He answered like nothing was wrong, suggesting I help David with a house down payment since the market's rough. I didn't even yell, just asked, "You opened a second credit line under my name and forged my signature?" Silence. Then he laughed it off with, "Don't be dramatic. We're family. You've always been the responsible one, it balances out." I told him this was fraud. He called it a legacy. Help David now so he could help my kids later. I hung up, but they weren't finished. That night, they added me to a new family group chat. Mom posted about supporting David and Kayla's new life, thanking me for being so generous. There was even a GoFundMe link asking for $50,000 for a down payment and business growth, and my name was listed twice as a donor, including a $5,000 anonymous donation from Big Bro. I hadn't given a dime. They were using me as their bait, and it was working. Instead of screaming, I started downloading everything, all the lies and manipulations. I was done. They used my name to fund their fantasy, but now I was going to use my voice to set the record straight. I scheduled a live stream for 8 p.m. on the dot, no teasers, no drama, just a straightforward caption. What does betrayal sound like when it comes with a smile? I've got the receipts. By 7:55, 60 people were waiting. By 8:03, over 900, family, mutuals, even some strangers. I saw one of David's fiancée's cousins in the chat. I started the stream with silence, just the title slide, "How My Family Stole $120,000 and Called It Love." Then I turned on the camera. "Hi, I'm Nathan. You've seen my name on GoFundMe pages, Facebook posts, maybe wedding photos. You probably thought I was the generous one, the good brother, the quiet son. I was quiet, but not anymore." I clicked to the next slide showing my drained savings account. Over 7 months, $120,437.52 was taken, marked as all sorts of things: tuition, travel, honeymoon, vehicles. I didn't authorize a single transfer. Next, my credit report, showing a new credit card with a $17,200 balance open from my childhood address. The forged signature wasn't mine, but it was my credit score and my life. The chat blew up. People were like, "This is criminal. Your own family, bro? Wait, I donated to that GoFundMe." I showed a screenshot of the GoFundMe with my name as a donor. I'd never given a cent. "I'm not angry at those who donated," I said. "I understand why you did. I believed in them once too. But the truth needed to be told." Then came the audio, my dad's voice, calm like nothing was wrong. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. And hit the notification bell to stay updated with more crazy real-life stories happening around you. 2 weeks ago, I snagged a snippet from a call where someone said, "Nate, you're part of this family, no opting out. Everyone pitches in." I couldn't help but laugh, thinking how naive that sounded. It made my next move a breeze. During a live stream, the feed froze for a bit, and suddenly the chat was buzzing with the name Kayla, David's ex-fiancée. She chimed in with, "I had no clue he used your cash. Sorry, I left him once I found out." Then she added, "He said you co-signed the Tesla with love." I should have figured. I didn't even react, just moved to the last slide with this message: "This isn't revenge, it's self-defense. You exploited my silence, savings, and signature. I'm not here to weep, just to shut the door, and if it slams, so be it. This is about reclaiming my name and showing how silence erases someone's voice. With that, I ended the stream. The aftermath was instant. My phone blew up. Dad ignored me. Mom left a voicemail, "How could you do this to us? We're humiliated." At 8:45, David texted, "You think the internet will love you forever? You're just bitter." I calmly replied, "I have the original trust document and call logs. Keep texting." He went silent after that. Overnight, my story blew up, trending under a hashtag I didn't come up with, #FamilyFraud. For the first time, I didn't feel ashamed, I felt validated. The live stream hit over 220,000 views by morning. By afternoon, it was all over blogs, TikTok, and even featured by financial educators, therapists, and a lawyer who labeled it a textbook case of financial abuse in the family. Later, Mom tried to counter with a Facebook post, sharing a childhood photo of David and me. Her caption was all about how no mom deserves public shaming, piling on the sacrifices she'd made. Followers sent love, saying I'd come around, but mixed among those were comments backing me up like, "Didn't he show receipts? What about the forged credit line?" Her post got flagged multiple times for misinformation. Next, a lawyer sent me a cease and desist for defamation and emotional distress. Unfazed, I sent it to my attorney, Mia, along with ironclad proof, forged trust documents, audio of my dad admitting theft, fake GoFundMe donations in my name, and bank statements showing $120,000 in unauthorized withdrawals. Mia shot back with a demand for full repayment plus penalties. I posted once, no hashtags or anger, just the truth. It went viral, #Team Nathan, #FamilyFraud, and #NotYourSon were trending. Support flooded in from everywhere, with people sharing their own stories and offering legal advice. A nonprofit for financial abuse victims shared my story with the comment, "Not all abusers are partners, some are family." By Thursday, the fallout was undeniable. David wiped his social media clean. His ex-fiancée's parents canceled the wedding plans, the venue and registry vanished. Mom disappeared from Facebook after people bombarded her old posts with my stream screenshots. Dad tried a vague "real men don't whine" online status, barely getting likes. By Friday, a message from an unknown number came in, a bank confirmation photo showing $120,000 wired to my account labeled Family Resolution. No apology, no explanation. I stared at it for ages, then sent it to Mia, saying, "Mark received, but silence was the interest, and I'm done accepting that." She asked if I wanted to go public again. I chose not to, they'd already said enough. Mom made a last-ditch private post claiming everything was settled and misunderstood. But no one was buying it anymore, not with the truth out in the open and 200,000 people watching. I didn't respond, I didn't need to. I just took a moment to breathe. So, I'm in my own little apartment, rent all sorted for a year, fridge full of food, no missed calls, and no family group chat pinging nonstop. It's quiet, and I love it. It doesn't feel empty, it feels like I've earned it. I didn't disappear to make a statement. I just left so I wouldn't have to handle them ever again. It wasn't a snap decision, but once I started cutting ties, I was on a roll. I switched up everything, closed my bank accounts, deactivated my phone, sold my downtown condo for cash. I didn't even go back to pack, I just hired people to handle that and told them to trash the furniture. I moved 1,200 miles south, found a place with no lease in a city no one would guess. It's kind of boring, hot, and totally off the radar. I picked the name Nathan E. Cross because it sounds clean, like someone who doesn't owe anything to anybody. I was done being the guy who everyone leaned on when things went wrong. I got myself a used Toyota, no loans, nothing fancy. I ditched my watch and stopped celebrating my birthday. I'm all about starting fresh now, new passwords, new rules every day. No family, no drama, just peace. They tried to get in touch at first. Mom used other people's phones and fake accounts, always with the same message, "Please talk to us." That's not how family works. We're still your parents. She didn't get that real parents don't forge your signature, that love doesn't come with a bill. So, I blocked everything and everyone from my old life. Even David tried reaching out once with some snarky message about me being a martyr. I didn't bother replying or saving it because he doesn't exist to me anymore. 3 months later, I landed a new gig doing freelance cybersecurity for some Icelandic company. They pay me in crypto, no HR, no tax forms with my real name. I started running at night, just me, the gravel, and the wind. I didn't tell anyone where I was, not even colleagues. I became just a whisper in a new place, and it was awesome. But then this envelope showed up, no name, just a fancy seal, Dunridge and Loan LLP. At first, I thought they found me, maybe Mom or David had hired someone or was trying to sue me. After staring for ages, I finally opened it. Inside were 2 letters, one formal, one personal. The formal one was about the passing of Mr. Robert H. Graves. The personal one made it clear he left me nothing. No mistake there, it was the last jab from a man who kept me down publicly, then said I was too sensitive. Even after he's gone, he wanted the paperwork to show his pettiness. I read it a few times, then just laughed. He finally kept a promise, in his own twisted way. I didn't bother with the funeral or checking obits. I took the will to a deserted beach, built a little fire, and watched it burn. As the smoke went up, I muttered, "You didn't forget me, you erased me, and now I've erased you." That week, I sent a final message, a digital goodbye saying, "This number's not monitored, this name's not valid. If you're looking for Nathan, he's gone." I programmed it and then deleted the account. Now, I enjoy coffee alone, watch people from afar, and just feel free. No one here knows I had a brother or about my parents, and I don't bother correcting them. They think I'm just quiet and private, but really, I'm just clean from past baggage. Every morning I wake up to peace, remembering how it felt to only be needed when others crumbled. When they wanted to trap me with obligations, I chose silence, not as a punishment, but as a way to survive.